here we go. So, here's a really good understanding of helping you maybe realize the earth is flat, but teach their own. Here we go. Chapter 1, The Creation. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light. God saw that the light was the sorry. And God saw the light, that it was good. That's why it's hard, because whatever. Sorry. Oh yeah. Sorry. Sorry. I just. And God saw the light, and that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And in the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Do you not like? And that's where I laugh at people. I'm like, that right there. I mean, literally, you're not even a freaking paragraph in, and it is literally enlightening you that he divided waters from waters to give us this plane of existence that we live on. I mean, it's right there. I mean, first paragraph. All right. And God said, "Let there be the firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it be divided the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. It was so. It's just so funny because it's right there. If you're a Christian, how are you not looking at that? Whatever. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. So what does that mean? That the ice barrier around? Who knows? And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he sea. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass and herbs, yield seeds, and have fruit trees yield fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself." Which is kind of, you think seeds. I know. And so, okay, sorry. And the earth brought forth grass. Okay, sorry. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, "Let there be light in the firmament, the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and let them be for signs, for seasons, and the 4 seasons, and for days and years, and let them be for light in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon earth." And it was so. God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament, the heaven, to give light upon the earth. So right there, he is literally explaining to us that the sun and the moon are local, and he's right there. He's telling us this, and they've made us believe this crazy lie. And the rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that hath life, and the fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament. See, he's saying it right there, open firmament of the heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundance after their kind, and every wiggling long wiggled fowl after his kind. Winged, sorry, winged fowl of his kind. And God said, and God saw that it was good, and God blessed them, saying, be fruitful, all multiply, and fill the waters in the sea, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And let fowl multiply in the earth. Okay. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping things and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Yeah, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree and the which is the fruit of tree yielding seed to it shall be for meat. See, that's kind of weird. So, hearing that, just thinking about it. Okay, so for a seed upon which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed to you, it shall be for meat. So is he saying like everything that we grow is to feed the animals, which is the meat that we eat? Not really sure, just kind of speculating there. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to see everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein that creepeth upon the earth. Sorry, there is life. I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening was the morning, the sixth day. All right, here we are on chapter 2. Sorry, I suck, but I'm just trying here for you. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on his seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Totally agree with that. The problem is most people, celebrate Sunday, and Sunday is the first day of the week. The last day of the week is Saturday. That's the day that you should celebrate and consider the Sabbath. But all right, let's continue. Chapter 2. Those the heavens and the earth were finished, and all host of them. And all the seventh day of God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all of his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, that in it he held rest, and all his work which God created and made. All right. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day of the Lord made the earth and the heavens, and every planet of the field. It should be plain, whatever. Planet of the field before it was in the earth. So see, whatever planets they say, yeah, in the earth, in the firmament, blah blah blah. Sorry. And every planet of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field. Before it grew, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there were upon mass from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground, and breatheth into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Kind of crazy. You start looking at it for what it is. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food. Sorry. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and a river went out of Eden to water the garden. And from thence it was parted, and became into four heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is it which composeth the whole land of Havilah, Havilah, where there is gold. That's weird. And the gold of the land is good. There is Bethlehem and the onyx stone. That's weird. I've read this many times and still, don't even remember that. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compass the whole land of Ethiopia. Ethiopia. And the name of the third river, Hidenkill, that is which goeth toward the east, is Asherah, and the fourth river is Epiateras. Epiateras? Yeah, that's weird. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and keep it. Okay. And the Lord God commanded the man, saith, of every tree of the garden thou dost freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eateth, not it, for one day thou eatest through, for there shall surely die. Okay. And the Lord God said, it is not good that a man should be alone. I will make him a help met for him. Help mate for him? Okay. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them into Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called living creatures, that was the name therefore. And Adam gave names to all cattle and all fowl and of the air, and every beast and every of all the fields. But for Adam where there was not found a helpmate for him. And the Lord God cast a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead therefore, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto man. And Adam said, this is how bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, she shall be called woman, because she is taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. It's a good way to be. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. See, this is, kind of getting, obviously, before you get to that point. They had no reason to understand shame. They knew nothing. They were children. Okay. All right. Chapter 3. Now the spirit was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Ye hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto to the serpent, we may eat of all fruits of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of the garden, neither shall he touch, at last ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God both knew that in the day ye eat before before then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was pleasant, good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eye, and the tree to be desired to be make one wishes, she took the fruit, therefore, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Bad mistake. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves pores. Aprons. Okay, aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cold of the day. And Adam and his wife had themselves from presence of the God hid themselves from the presence of God amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I hear thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. Hid himself because he actually kind of came to understanding of what everything was and what shame was. He found that in that instance. That is for sure. I mean, when you never knew what being naked was like as a little kid, and then all of a sudden you come to realize what it is, it's gonna change a lot of things now, isn't it? And he said, Who told thee thou that thou was naked? Hast thou returned? Has that eaten of the tree where though I commanded thee that thou should not eat? And minister, the woman whom thou gave it to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What what is this thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said upon to the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and all above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shall thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmities enmities between thee of the woman, enmities and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall brush thy head, and thou shalt brush his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will gather, multiply, and shower, and thy conception. Maybe that's why having a baby is such a hard thing. That's what God put for a woman, um, upon woman, and I said, I will gather, multiply, and shower, and thy conception, and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring her taken unto her taken unto the voice of the wife, and hasn't eaten of the tree of which I commanded. So what? So he's saying that he didn't. That's weird. The voice of the wife. See, that's weird because he's actually okay. And the desire. Okay. And to the woman he said, I will gather, multiply, and sorrow, and thy conception. So making it hard, obviously, have babies. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. So in sorrow, so in your pain, they're going to bring forth children. Okay. And they desire shall be to thy husband. Desire. Okay, good. Maybe that's why women love us. And he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast. Oh, it's not hasn't. It's hest. Hest her hearkened unto. I was wrong there. Okay. The voice of thy wife, and his eating of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of that. Because cursed is the ground for they sake. It's weird. It is so weird. Like reading it, it almost seems like you're I'm sure you know if you've read the Bible. I'm sure you have. Thorns also this still shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat of the herb of the field, in the sweat of thy face shall throw, eat brush, breed, bread. Oh, eat bread. Tell those return into the ground, for out of the waste through taken, for the dust through throw art, throw thou art. It's weird. And into the dust shall thou return. And Adam called his wife a name Eve, because she was the mother of all living unto Adam. Also, and to his wife did the Lord make cast of skin, and clotheth them. And the Lord God said, behold, the man is becoming as one of us, that now know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. Therefore therefore Lord God sent the forth from the Garden of Eden to tell the garden from which he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim, and a flaming sword which turned everything away, to keep away from the tree of life. Thanks for still being here. Appreciate it. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she convinced and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of his ground, and offered unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstling of his flock, and of the fat for therefore thereof, thereof. Sorry. And the Lord had responded to Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very worth, and Cain was very wroth, and his contents, contents fail. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou worth? And why is their contents fallen? Contention. Of thou does well doesn't does of thou doesn't dost well shall thou not be accepted, and if thou does it not will sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and those shall rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slay him. Said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. I am I am I my brother's keeper. And he said, What hast thou done? Because yes, you are your brother's keeper. The voice of the brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive the brother's band. When he tellest the ground, is it shall not have her henceforth yield upon thee here strength and figurative and a figurative and vagabond self convinced and bared Enoch. So Enoch came from Cain? That's disturbing. Alright, that's really disturbing. And he beholdeth the city of the called the name of the city and the name of his son Enoch, and unto Enoch was born Arid, and Arid begot Meled, and Meled got the bunch of names really hard to read. And Lamech took 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the other was Zeliah. And Adam bare Jebelah, and he was the father of such a dwell of such have. And his brother's name was Jebel, and his was the father of all such as Han and Oregon. And Zale, she also bare Talon. My goodness, these names are just hard to my laments and unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wandering, and a young man to my hunt, and shall be avenged sevenfold. Truly lent sevenfold. And Adam know his wife again, and she bare a. So, and Adam knew his wife again. So, what does that mean? They brought Adam back to life? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading this, that, the other thing. So, but to say that Adam knew means that he had to arose Adam, I would imagine. Which is kind of crazy, though, that, Enoch is the son of Cain. I never even, put that together, it's like, wow, Enoch, which is, who literally seemed like he cared about, and Enoch is the great great grandfather or whatever of Noah. So, that's kind of a weird thing right there. Just seriously, I've read this many times, but still, every time you read it, reread it, after more understandings, you kind of catch some more things. And buried a son, called his name Seth, for God said he's health appointed Mead instead of Abel, whom Cain slayed. So okay, so it's weird. So he raised another Adam, but it was not Adam. That's Hey, we're just trying to get through this and figure it out, right? Right? And so Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began man to call upon the name of the Lord. All right, that's the end of the chapter 4. I don't know. I just kind of thought I would do that just for what the heck ever. We could keep reading, or we can talk about some other stuff. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? What you got? What you got? Yeah, I'm a little bit everything. I'd rather talk about anything else. All right, all right. Thanks, man. Interesting. Yeah, no, I was just. I mean, that's just the first part of the Bible. I'm sorry, my reading sucks. If you've ever tried to read the Bible, it really is not easy on how the words are put together, because it's like you're reading it and you're almost like rereading it at the same time, because the words are hard to understand from the rhyme and the reason of what we understand when you would spell a sentence or say this. So it is definitely really hard to read the dang Bible. That is for sure. Yeah, no, that's for sure. It is not easy. Um yeah, I've had definitely a long, crazy freaking day. But would you like me to keep reading, or is there something you'd like to talk about? Because I had a whole plan. I planned on going live a lot sooner. A whole bunch of other crap happened and got me discombobulated, and just couldn't even really actually kind of had prepared in my mind to actually go live. So I guess maybe that's why I did this and just started reading from the Bible, which, and if I butcher it, that's still better than nothing. So if there's anything you want to get into and talk about, love to hear. Throw it out there. Is if you don't do that, I'm just gonna make you watch me play pool. Keep reading if you want. Yeah, your truth out. Yeah, I can understand that spot, but I don't know what to make of. What do you mean by that? If you don't mind elaborating, thing, hang. So, what do you mean by that? Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, like but I'm not joking. I was looking through everything and I did not see it anywhere, and maybe I'm just a little bit off right now. Could not the gospel, Thomas, dude, I could not find that, which is really an index and everything, and I could not find it, and which is I know I've heard that before. Oh, okay, okay. Well, that would be why. No, thank you for clarifying that. No, that's something that I obviously got to look up and look at because I, for whatever reason, I I know I've heard of it. Will you look? Yes, it's taken out of the law of attraction. It's not in the Bible. Yeah, I will look at it, but I don't really know. I got lots of books, but I don't really know where to find that. I think I'll have to pull it up on my phone and find it. Um, but about that you like are talking about, thinking about, feeling about, and we can go from there. I know how I am. That you guys can usually say one or two words about whatever the hell, and I can go on for 20 minutes about it. I'm with everything that's gone on today, and that not being something that I can remember that I've researched or looked at. I can't say anything about that. And me. It's funny, one buddy asked me, "Is like, is there anything on?" I'm like, "Yeah, pygmies." But no, I don't want to get into that without and butcher it because I don't know what I'm talking about. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Give me a ding thumbs up. And I'll keep reading if you want. That's up to you. Let me know. This is the book of Genesis of Adam in the land in the day of in the day that God created man. In the likeness of God made he him, male and female he them. And I appreciate you for being here, brother. I appreciate you throwing out a. It's funny. I keep getting comments from multiple people, but it tells me nobody's on here. So I appreciate you saying something. Much appreciated. Bless them and called their name Adam in the day when they were created, and Adam lived 100 years and begot a son of his own. Like, sorry, looked up and lost my name. Adam, 130 years, begot a son in his own likeness after his image, and called his name Seth. Seth. And of Adam after he begot Seth were 800 years. What the heck? You live 130 years and then you have a son of 130 years, and then after that you live another 800? Goodness, that must be nice. And he begot his son and daughters, and all the days that Adam lived were and 30 years, and he died. I mean, dude, man, you almost make it 1,000 years. It's pretty good. Breakfast, tea, and cig. Yeah, I got my cig. I'm thinking about making a breakfast sandwich now. You guys keep talking about eating, and then you talk about breakfast. And Seth lived 105 years and begot Enos. And Seth lived and he begot Enoch years and 807 years. And he begot his sons and daughters. It's funny, they ones, but they don't name the daughters. Hey, I'm not criticizing. I'm not saying anything. I just think that's really crazy. You name the son, but not the daughter. Kind of weird. Seth were 900 der, which is 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 900 years and begot Cainan. Cain. And Enos lived after he begot Cain 815 years, and he begot and daughters. No, they did, because what's funny is when you think about it and what they say, I mean, before the flood, before this, before everything, like the waters were lower, there was more air, and it's proven you're sucking in 99% freaking oxygen, you're going to live longer and be healthier. But if you're sitting there only sucking in 60 or 70% oxygen, you're not going to live as healthy and you're not going to live as long. It is a little bit simple things like that, but I'm sure there's a lot more and would be insane for us to even attempt to understand. All right. And all the days of Enos were 950 years, and he died. And Canaan lives 70, and Cain lived 70 years and begot Malkolah, Malachul, Mahalalel. To pronounce these names, sorry. And Canaan lived after that, begot Michael 800 years and 40 years, and begot sons and daughters. It is funny because it's almost like they take the points of their life were like, this is how many years you lived before you begot a son, and then this is how many years you lived after, which is really weird because obviously I guess that must be the most important thing in the world, is to have a damn son. I ain't got no kids. I got grandbabies, but I ain't got no kids, so maybe God might not look so favorably upon me, since I did not go forth and procreate. I tried really hard. All right. And all the days of Cain were man. They seem like they keep living longer. And 10 years, and he died. Malachim lived 60 and 5 years. Whoa, that's not very low. Oh, okay. And begot Jared. And Malcolm lived there. He begot 800 years and 30 years, and begot son and daughter. And all the days of Malachim were 890 and 5 years, and he died. And Jordan a lived 160 and 2 years. Enoch. Okay, so there we are. Now we're at Enoch. And that's really important. That's what sucks, because they took the book of Enoch out of the Bible. And maybe that's something I should be reading first, because I think the book of Enoch should be like the first thing that you read before you get into the Bible. But that's just from what I've looked at. But hey, we're just going to keep going, right? Begotten Enoch, and all the days of okay. And Enoch walked with God after he had Malathalasha 300 and begot 300 years, and begot daughter. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God. That's weird. He lived, about a third of the time that everybody else did, but he got to walk with God. And he was not for God took him. And he was not for God took him. Melos lived 187 years, and begot Lamech. And Melos lived after he begot Lamech 782 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all of the days of Methuselah, I think, and 960 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 180th and 2 years, and begot a son. And he called his name Noah. So there we are. Now we've gone for supposedly, his great grandfather of Noah. No, okay. So his name was Noah, saying this same shall confirm his concerning our work and of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. And Lamech lived after he begot Noah 590 and 5 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all of the 770 and 7 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Joseph. Kind of weird to me though, because it's like everybody else lived about 100 and something years and begot a son. Because it's like I'm saying, it's really weird because it's like that, which is understandable because God did say go forth and procreate and replenish. Another thing, but what's really weird is everybody that we've just read through, before we're getting up to Noah, they all had sons around a buck 25. It seemed to be about the average, about 120 had kids, and then they lived for another 500 or 800 years, after that. But what's really weird is what did Noah do? Did Noah have to wait that long before he could find somebody pure enough to actually make his wife? Because he did not begot a son till 500 years, which is really weird because you're talking about length of anybody else that became before you, that you waited to have children. And when we look at it and you think that you waited till 100 and something to have kids is completely insane. But things were different and we can't completely understand that. What I'm trying to do here is try to understand that. But that is crazy, just looking at the mathematics of everybody else having kids, and then you go to Noah and it's over 500 years when everybody else it was 125. And just I don't know what you guys might think of that, but I don't know. Was there something special about him? Was there something wrong with him, or was it that he actually wanted to be clean and waited for the right wife, which is, I mean, to me, which is just nuts. Who knows? It's hard to wrap maybe our heads around and think about. All right, well, I guess you guys want to keep going. I'll keep going. All right, chapter 6. The wickedness of mankind. And it came to pass when the man began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born unto them, that the sons of the saw the daughters of man that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the God said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his will be 120 years. And hey, you think about it, there ain't nobody living past 120 years, right? But hey, you lived a damn good one. You got to over 100. Yes, everything lived longer before the flood, and yes, the Nephilim. Yes, they are the fallen angels. That is 100. All right. 120 years. There were giants in the earth. There were giants in those days, and they also, after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of man, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old men in renown. That's a little crazy. Old men of renown. The fallen ones. Yes, we're talking about the fallen ones. I can't remember what text I was reading, but Noah birth was special. Well, that's what I was saying, because what was so weird is everybody else besides Noah, let's go back, everybody else didn't have a kid until about 120, 130 years. And then Noah, he didn't have any kids till 500. So to me, that is kind of what's crazy to me, because why did it take so long? Was he waiting for that right woman? Was he waiting to keep his bloodline, his DNA real? And is that why God favored him? Because he wasn't so eager like the rest. And what is so weird is, if you think, I mean, that it doesn't seem that eager if you're not having kids till 125 or 130. It doesn't seem that eager, but it does compared to Noah, that waited, 4 times as long, pretty much. Kind of a weird, kind of a weird thing to try to understand. Description: Noah was glowing and. Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, maybe that's gonna come up here pretty soon. But yeah, I've heard of that. That he was glowing, had hair, blonde hair, was almost hard to look at. The giant king of them days, Nephilim kings, but all looked up to Enoch. No, they all went to Enoch. That was the funny thing, is they all went to Enoch to have communication with God, because they had lost their communication with God. And what is so, crazy is when you talk about, it's what, pretty much like 200, fallen angels that came down to the earth. And then you start looking at China, and you start looking everywhere, and you realize there is pyramids everywhere. So did all of those fallen angels find their little piece, their little plot, and built their damn freaking pyramids? I mean, because they're everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere in China, and they just all thought they were mountains with trees growing on them, and they're pyramids. I mean, there was something that they were trying to do. There was something that they understood that I feel that as men, we have no understanding or grasp of completely. All right, so I'll keep going. I just want to tell you, no, fallen angel technology. Yeah, no, 100%. No matter what, God has technology, whether he needs technology or not. But whatever and so whatever they took and knew, they brought down here. Like they said that they taught women to put makeup on, pretty much taught them herbs and spells and this and that. There was definitely fallen angel knowledge that was brought to man. And I'm gonna go off a little bit on a tangent here, but what is so funny is, like, people always say, oh, Satan against God, this or that. Well, maybe he did, but at the same time, God knew what he was gonna do. And God knew that he needed Satan, because without evil, how would any of us ever be tempted? And how could any of us know what true goodness is if we never knew evil? And, I think what Satan did, to a point, was exactly what God wanted, or what God knew needed to happen. And he allowed it to happen. Nothing happens under the sun that God does not know about. I mean, so, I kind of look at it a little bit in that way, that it was needed and it was necessary to weed out the weak, and or whatever it was that he needed to weed out from humanity, a little bit. And my understanding that I've come to find so far, maybe wrong, maybe right, maybe just a little bit in between. I don't know. That's kind of the gathering that I've gotten out of it. All right, let's keep going. And God saw that there was wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil constantly. That's disturbing and sick. But if we look at who's around us, is that too hard to see? We know that would be pretty easy to happen. And it repented the Lord, repented the Lord that, sorry guys, so sorry, that he had made man on the earth, and it was grieved him at his heart. Yeah, how wicked must you be to make God sad that he made you? Man, can you imagine how horrible they must have been back then? Oh, wait. No, we can see what our own government's doing right now. Oh, yeah. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creepy crawling things of, and the fowl of the air, and the air, if it not repenteth me, that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. See, that is what is so funny, like, because we know there's the book of Noah. We Noah, we know the book of Enoch, that their names are mentioned more than once. Their names are actually mentioned more than most until you start getting in, you know what I mean, Paul, Peter, blah 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 blah. Paul's tongue was slit. We'll get into that later. But that's the funny thing, is like their names are repeated. They're the first names that are majorly repeated in the Bible. And there's got to be something to that, and that they would take the book of Enoch out of the Bible. And that's when I get people like, because I used to think this way too. I'm like, the Bible's been corrupted because it's been rewritten by man. I've always believed that. I'm not saying I completely believe that now fully, but at the same time, I do know that man, Satan, whatever you want to call it, has taken out the things to hide the true word from us. Yes, we still have the word. It's still here. They cannot take that away. Just like any evil thing, Satan, he can do whatever he wants to us, but he has to tell us what they're doing. Just like all the shit that they poison us with. They tell us what they're doing, but we get a 1.1% little tinkling of what's going on, as, for 100,000 hours, they tell us complete lies. That is 100% kind of the insanity of that we're stuck trying to figure out and deal with. All right, sorry, I had to plug in my phone. Okay. Yeah, I had somebody calling, but yeah, whatever. So here we go. Sorry, guys. All right, back to it. Da-da-da. And God saw that the wickedness of man. Okay. Da-da-da. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whomever I created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creepy crawler. Okay, I got to there. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Okay, sorry. Noah makes the ark. Okay, there we go. These are the generations of Noah. Oh man, yeah, and this just goes. There are was just man perfect grace. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons: Shem, Ham, and Joseph. And the earth was always corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and he held it was corrupt, for all flesh and all corruption was his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is coming before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth, making thee an ark of gopher wood. Gopher wood. Yeah, that's weird. Don't remember that. Rooms self though make in the ark shall pitch it without with pitch. Weird. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and buried of the 50 cubits birth 50 cubits, and height of the 30 cubits. A window shall thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shall thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shall thou set in the side, therefore, with lower second and third stores shall thou make it. And behold, it even I do bring a flood of water upon the earth to destroy all flesh. Within is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in earth shall die. But with thee will I establish a covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wives and thy sons' wives with thee. And of these living things of all flesh, two of every sort shall thou bring into ark, to keep them alive, and these shall be male and female of after fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, and of creepy crawling things of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall be unto thee, to keep them alive, and keep them with thee of the food that is eaten. And thou shalt gather into thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Oy, oy, oy. Those did Noah create accordingly to all that God commanded him, so did he. All right, that was the end of chapter 6. Goodness. It's amazing. Like, I know I'm not the greatest reader in the world, but it is really hard, I must admit, reading the Bible, because, like, there are words that just sound really weird and are really, like, and you're trying to pronounce them and trying to speak well, or trying to speak, and you're speaking and reading of the words, and it's hard because when they don't make sense in your own head, you feel like you're reading them wrong. So I've noticed that is that definitely gets at me as I'm reading. Like, I'm not trying to be like back and forth and keep going back and like pausing, but it's like it's a little bit difficult, when you start trying to make sure that what you're saying is coherent. All right, did I miss anybody saying anything? All right, well, you guys want me to keep going? Well, you're still freaking here, so I guess I imagine you probably want me to keep going. I just want to tell you all, I love you so much, and I really appreciate you being here, because never been really one to read in front of anybody. So for me to actually be sitting here reading in front of you is a little bit different, a little bit weird for me, but hey, you guys are here. Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate that. So here we go. Thank you. All right, here we go. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, and they they have I seen righteousness before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee be sevens, thee be by sevens, and male and his female, and for beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his wife, and his female. Um, a fowl also of the air by seven, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. So I'm wondering, when he says seven, is that the animal, like have more of certain animals so you can eat, or for other animals to eat? It's kind of crazy because I mean, come on, everything needs to eat something, right? Yeah, just wondering. Um, for yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living subject that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. And Noah went went in, and his son and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood. The ark, the ark because of the waters of the flood. Okay, sorry. Of clean beast and of beasts that are not clean, and of the fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. See, what is kind of weird to me is when he talks about what's clean and what's not clean, and you almost wonder, it is it that he saved the clean animals to repopulate, and they ate the ones that weren't clean? I don't know. Just me asking the question here. Not to say that I have any better understanding than anybody else. Just me asking the question, kind of, just trying to look at it. I know every time I read this, and I've read this many times, more questions, more understandings come up every single time I read it, and that's why the more you become enlightened, or the more that you learn to go back and read the Bible, I think is a really good thing, whether you've read it or not. It's a good thing to go back, because I think you get different understandings when you go back and read. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic, and I'm sorry I'm reading a little bit crappy for all of you. But I really appreciate that you guys are here, and that means a lot to me. I love you all. There went in two, and two upon Noah's into the ark. The male and the female was female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days, their waters and the floods were upon the earth. In the 600th day in Noah's life, and in the second month, the 70th day of the month, 17th day of the month, the same day were all fortunes of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. See, and that's what's funny too, is when you look at the book of Enoch, and it talks about portals, and it talks about things opening and this and that. It's like you almost wonder if, obviously God might have his own sprinkler system, or his own sewage system that controls all of this. And that would make sense. I mean, come on. If you're going to create something and you're going to make something, you're going to make a way to flush it out, to water it, to rain it, to. It is so astounding that how simply it comes back to realizing that that it comes back to realizing that if you created something, you would have fail safes, and you would have this and that and the other thing. And people, they'll believe in God, but they won't believe that God didn't put a fail safe into where you could go, erase, restart. Like, come on, who spends all that time and that energy creating something to not be in full control of it, or to have the ability to give control away, but at any moment come back and take complete control. That would make no sense. Would you do that with an ant farm? If you had an ant farm and they were poisonous ants, would you not have a way to freaking erase them? Just saying. I know that's kind of a crazy analogy, but I think you know what I mean. Okay. Okay. Seven are clean animals, five for eating, and two to keep replenishing. Oh, well, 100%. Thank you for giving me that understanding. I was that. No, thank you. That totally makes sense. 10 out of 10 for effort. Oh, thanks. Two of every unclean, seven of every clean. Out of the clean, two are reserved for populating, just the same as unclean. The other five clean for eating. Huh. I don't know if I just haven't gotten there yet, or that's just something you've come to find, but whatever. Thank you so much for clarifying that for me. I'm not a good reader, and really on people like you to read for the people like me. You know what? You guys are here, and like I really appreciate leaving comments and talking and everything, and just it is funny. I mean, because it doesn't matter how many people are actually on here. Sometimes it shows zero, and I see you guys literally leaving comments. I'm like, well, somebody's listening to me. So I really appreciate you guys being here, and trust me, that not an easy thing to just sit here and read in front of people. I mean, I haven't done much reading lately except for in this thing, and we all know how hard this beautiful book is to read. I really appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate your love, your comments, and I appreciate you helping me. Hey, I'm trying to understand this as I read it and helping other people understand it. And thank you for helping me understand the things that I'm not understanding. So I just really want to tell you all that I love you so much, and I really appreciate you being here more than I can ever explain. All right, let's get back to it. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth, and in the 600th year of Noah's life, into the second month and the seventh day of the month, the same day were all fountains of the great deeps broken open. I think I already read that, but that's all right. And the windows of the heavens were opened. See, I think that's what caught me right there, that I had to like try to talk about that, because he opened up the doors that he had. Whatever. All right. In the self same in the self-some day entered Noah and Shem and Ham and Joseph, the son of Noah, and Noah's wife, and three wives of his son with them into the ark. See, what is funny to me is they never, they don't name the women's names. And I wonder about that. It's like, why do they not name the women's names? Is it because they know the vanity of women that will come to have, or they just are thought about as minuscule compared to men? I don't know. Just something I'm wondering. All right. Okay. They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creepy crawleth thing upon earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, and every bird of every sort. And they went into Noah into the ark. In ark, two and two of all flesh went is breath of life. and they went and they that went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him. And the God shut and the God, which is weird, and the God. Whoa, la la la. Got okay. And the Lord shut him in, and the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bare up the ark, and it was lifted upon the earth. Sorry. And the waters prevailed, and the waters prevailed, and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went upon the face of the waters, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all of the high hills and were under the whole heaven were covered 50, 15 cubits upon. Sorry. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died and moved upon the earth, both of fowl and the cattle and beast of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man, and all whose nostrils was the breath of life of all was in the dry land died. See, and was this him trying? Was this him killing off the giants? Like that's the whole thing. It's like, so this was his attempt, or because I think there were giants after that day. I mean, look at the story of David, all that. There were still giants, but maybe not as the size. Because when you look at some things that you look at, I mean, I've seen some mountainsides that literally you can tell these are giants that died and literally petrified and turned into rock. I mean, I thought it was the craziest thing in the world, but I looked into it. Everything always goes back to the Bible, and he killed these things. This plane of existence that he gave us, the dome that he put, it was not big enough, as what I gather, for them to be sustained. There's no way that they could have been sustained and us have a future of growing into what we are. Crazy. All right. Okay, and every living subject was destroyed which was upon the face of the ground, both man, cattle, creepy crawl thing, and they destroyed the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark, and the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. See, and it's weird because the numbers change. I mean, now it's saying 150 days. I thought it was 40 days and 40 nights. But hey. All right. So, and the waters prevailed upon the earth 140 days. See, that's weird. So what? They lost 100 in the other translations, but they got it in this. It's weird. All right. So we're on chapter 8. Shall I continue? All right. I'm going to continue. All right. Here we go. All right. Chapter 8. And God reminded Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark, and God made a wind to pass over the earth. Let me read that. God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters sided. The fountains also of the deep and the winds of the heavens stopped, and the rain from heaven was res- res- restrained. Goodness. Of heaven. Okay, sorry. The winds of the heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. Sorry, guys. And the waters returned from off the earth, and continually, constantly. And after the end of the 140 days, the waters were abundant, and the ark raised in the seventh month, on the 17th day of the month, up on Mount Ararat, and the waters decreased constantly upon until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were tops of the mountains seen. And it was to pass the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the windows of the ark which he had made. Okay, so maybe that's where I've been getting it wrong, is that it rained for the 40 days and 40 nights, but it was 140 days that it had to ride out the storm, or, whatever. All right. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth and foul until the waters drained from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abundant from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for he sole of her foot, and she returned unto him not the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and put her into him into the ark upon unto him upon the ark. And he said, yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth a dove out of the ark, and the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was a olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abundant from off the earth. And he said, yet are 7 days, and and sent forth the dove, which returned against unto him again any more, which did not return again to him any more. And it came to pass at the 60th, it came to pass in the 600th and first year, the 600th and first year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were drained. See, that's a lot longer than a lot of people talk about. Da, 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 da. The ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 7th day, the 20th day of the month, was the earth dry. And God spoke unto Noah, saying, go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons, and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth every living thing into with thee of the flesh, both of the fowl, of the cattle, and the creepy crawly things upon the earth, that may be abundantly in the earth, and be faithful and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons and his wives, his sons' wives, with him. Every beast, every creepy, crawlieth thing, foul, were creepeth upon the earth, their kinds were forth of out of the ark. And Noah beheld the altar into the Lord, and took of every clean beast and every clean fowl and every offered burnt 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 of fearling fearing on the altar. So it's like, what did he burn these things in altar? I mean, that's you. Okay. And the Lord smiled a sweet sovereign, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil. The im- for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more anything living as I have done. Will the earth remaineth seed time, and harvest, and cold, and heat, and summer, and winter, and day, and night shall cause. End of chapter 8. Man, you guys are still here. I love you. Love you. Alright, did I miss something? Okay, welcome. Doing good. Say that there is two separations according to the flood that combined into one, that is why 40 days, then 150. Oh, okay, yeah, because I was like, what the heck? I'm like, because even what you just remember being told as a kid, or just what you remember reading, yeah, thank you. I just 100%, I really appreciate anybody coming on and clarifying, anything that I'm trying to say here, or trying, because I'm just trying to understand this myself, as, I'm hoping to, talk with you guys about it. So just want to say I really, really do appreciate you guys, chiming in and being like, hey, this is what you're misunderstanding, or this is what I've figured out, or this is what I believe, or I just want to tell you guys thank you so much. I really, just really want to tell you guys thank you. All right, so here we go. Oh, yeah. All right, let's go. Chapter 9. Oh, hold on. All right, chapter 9. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto him, be careful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And therefore, and the fear of you, and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fish of the sea. Into your hands are they delivered. One thing that is really crazy to me, it's like, I understand he flooded everything out, but how he never there was never a mention of the fish or the things in the sea, because it's like, if you flooded everything to kill everything on land, like, the only way to kill everything in the sea would be to drain it. So that is the funniest thing, is if you think about it, the sea was never completely drained. And here, let me just go a little bit off a tangent here. You can drink salt water all day and be just fine, as long as you put regular salt and regular water. Well, why is it that you can't drink the ocean water? Why not? Because that's just salt water, right? Well, it is and it isn't. Because there are so many toxins, and Think about every false, disturbing, disgusting thing that God flooded off this earth seeped into all that ocean water. That's why it's poisonous to you. That's why you can only drink a small amount of that before it literally kills you. But you can put all the salt you want in regular water and drink it and be just fine. The ocean is poison. The ocean water is poison to us because of everything that I think was destroyed during the flood. I mean, poisons and all that, yeah, things can settle down, go to the ocean and kind of, settle in and not have as much of a, pH problem and, acidity and poison. But still, when you talk about destroying everything that he did and wiping it off, and who knows where their technology was at. Because I promise you, these people weren't freaking running around with bones and arrows. I promise you that. That is the funny thing that I laugh about when I go, that's why the ocean is freaking poison. Because of everything that he had to wipe off, and who knows where those technologies were at. Who knows the disturbing crap. All right, I'll get back to it. Sorry, guys. Every morning, things that liveth shall be met for you, even as the green herbs have I given you all things. But flesh with the life through, which is the blood through, shall ye not eat. Okay, let's reread that because I want to understand that. All right, but flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. Does anybody understand that? What is he saying? And surely your blood of your life will. All right, so I think I'm gonna go back a little bit and reread this because, like, does anybody understand? Like, is he talking about human flesh? What is he saying? Okay, every morning things that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herbs have I given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall not be eaten. I think he's saying that you dumb son of bitches, you can't eat your own and don't be a fucking cannibal. Pardon my French. I think that's what it's saying. Do not eat something while it is still alive. Life is in the blood. Well, that's why we all know that the Satanists that rule this world have figured out that they can transfuse children's blood into theirs and live longer. Sick pieces of shit. But no, I take what you're saying there. But to me, I think a little bit. I think a little bit of it is. I think a warning of not to consume each other. A little bit of that, but I like the understanding. That you're saying. But I'm taking it a little bit too as we're not supposed to eat the like of each other. But what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Okay, and surely your blood and surely your blood of your living will. See, what I like about this Bible is really awesome is it has lots of really great pictures in it of I mean, I know a lot of this stuff is from Roman times and this and that, but a lot of it is older. So I do kind of like, the archaeology point that they kind of show and the artwork or whatever you want to call it that they show. I really appreciate that in this book. That's why it wasn't a cheap. This is probably one of my more expensive Bibles that I bought. I have more than I can count. I require at the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, and the hand of every man's brother brother, will I require the life of man? That one's a little bit hard to understand. Yes, they did eat humans too. No, I know that was that is like as far as I'm concerned, that's got to be the greatest sin is eating of human flesh. I can't see a more horrible sin, really. I mean, and I know it goes through the Bible, it goes back into ancient times that people literally ate their children. And that is disturbing. Like, I could almost understand killing my child rather than actually letting my child starve to death and, like, you know, or there's hordes of demon demonic bastards that are gonna come rape him to death and eat them. I can almost understand saving your children from that disgrace and that agony, but to eat your own children, and I mean, we all know this happened. I mean, if you have any good idea of history and you've looked at it, I could not see a greater sin than eating your own children. All right, well, let me get back to this. Thank you guys so much for being here. Give me a thumbs up, man. Thumbs up. All right. Who is spilleth man's blood? Who is spilled shall? I'm sorry, guys. Who is? Who sheddeth man's blood? By man shall his blood be spilled. Okay, spilleth. Okay, who spilleth man's blood? Blood shall be spilled. For in the image of God made he man. And you be ye fruitful and multiply, bringing forth abundantly in the earth and multiply entirely. Who sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be spilled. For in the image of God made he man. Okay, so but that's what's crazy. But what does he say right after this? And you be ye fruitful. That's a little bit like, how am I supposed to take that? The person that spills man's blood shall have their blood spilled, and then shall be fruitful. It's a little bit mind blowing there, and a little bit, disunderstanding of what everything that I've learned. I'm not saying that I understand it. I'm sure I don't understand that is being said right here, but who knows? And ye be ye fruitful, and multiply, being forth abundantly in the earth, and multiplying therein. See, that's what's weird. Like, what is he saying there? It sounds like he's saying the man that spills the blood, their blood will be spilled, and then will be fruitful and multiply. I guess maybe that's when you take down the tyrant, or the man that is spilling all the blood, and then finally his blood is spilled, and things can be renewed into righteousness, and things will be abundant. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's about what I can gather out of that. Yeah, that was. I think. Oh, that's about what I gather out of it. Okay. And you be fruitful. Okay, multiply that. And God spoke unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, and I behold I behold, I established my covenant with you and with your seed after you. Oops. I think it's saying don't go around killing everyone instead of wait. Yeah, yes. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I think it was saying do not go around killing everyone instead populate. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. Yeah, I was just it was kind of hitting me well in the head like, wait, what is this saying? No, thank you. And you did. I just want to say thank you so much. You know, you've been very helpful on coming up with what I was misreading or misunderstanding, and I just want to say I really appreciate that. And more than anything, I just want to tell everybody I really appreciate you for being here. I just thank you guys so much. It means a lot, and maybe this is something I'll do more if this is what you guys want. I mean, maybe we could go through, but I'll read this thing start to finish for you guys if you guys want. But just even one person being here, two people being here, 10 people being here, whatever. Like I really appreciate you guys being here. It means a lot to me. And I believe okay. And with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and every beast of the earth with you, from all that goes out of the ark, everything beast of the earth, and I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of the flood. Neither shall there be any more. Neither shall there be shall any more be a flood of destroy the earth. And God said, "This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you." Thank you, Father. And you, and everything living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. Sorry. Wasn't getting that word. All right, what we got? I like listening to you read and discussing it. That's how we learn. Well, I just want to tell you thank you more than anything for, being here, because I I just really appreciate it, and you seem to have a pretty good understanding of what's going on, and us having discussions, and just you helping me with what I'm trying to figure out, me reading this and trying to come to my own understanding, and come to it with you guys. Like, yeah, I just got to say it means a lot to me. I appreciate you being here more than I could ever explain. All right. I do set my bow in the clouds, and it shall be for a token of convent covenant. Sorry, guys. Of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall become to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which I be between me and you and every living creature of the flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be sorry, I'm sorry. Starting to remember why I read with my finger as a kid. Sorry. Between God and living creatures of all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, this is the token of the covenant, that which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem and Ham and Joseph. And Ham is the father of Canaan. Those are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth over, overspread. And Noah began to be hus, ha, husbandman, a hash, a hospitable husbandman. A husbandman? That's weird. Okay, maybe I'm reading that wrong. I don't know. We'll keep moving on. And he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine, and his drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Joseph took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backwards, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their face were backwards, and they saw not their for nakedness. And Noah woke from his wine, and knew that his younger son had done unto him. See, what was it that his younger son did unto him? And it's Noah. And that's the weirdest thing. It's like all these, these great men are the ones that were the most important of making things and having things happen, seem to be the ones that were punished for things that it's hard to understand. So if he saw his father's nakedness, is that he took of his wife, or he saw of his wife's nakedness? Because to me it's kind of weird. If you see your father's nakedness, what is that the big of deal? Or is it that when you see your father's nakedness, is that you saw your father's misdeeds that you weren't supposed to see? This, that, and that is one thing that has always been on top of me. Like, what was it that he did something against his father, but the other ones did not, because they did not look at his nakedness? And I wonder if it's lost in translation of what that true meaning is. I've had many people try to explain it in many different ways. I can't say that I really understand or agree with any of them, but that is something that has, what you saw of your father's nakedness. Like, it's not like you're trying to be a perv and look at him, but he came to see him drunk by wine, and saw him naked. Yeah, I don't know, but I know that I'm losing. The younger sons sin against him. Okay, the younger son sinned against him by not covering him. That is why deeper meaning to that story. So, okay. So he noticed his father's nakedness, and instead of covering him and taking care of him, he let his other brothers see him in that shambles, or that mistake of being drunken by the wine or whatever, to maybe discredit him, to maybe to where that he would be the number one under God. Nice. See, that's what I got out of what you just said. That he totally messed up, and he didn't take care of his father, so his other freaking brothers came. A Hebrew term, nakedness means sin. Okay, nice. I know NASA in Hebrew means deceiver. Nice. Thank you very much. I that really helped. You've been doing so well helping me out with this. I thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for helping. I really appreciate that. All right. And Noah began to okay. Shem. Okay. And Shem and Joseph took a garment. Okay. And Noah woke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. And he said, "Cursed be Canaan. A servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." And he said, "Blessed be the Lord God of Shem and Canaan, and shall be his servant. God shall enlong along Joseph, and he shall dwell in the tent of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant." And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. End of chapter 9. It is funny. I mean, a lot of them, I mean, they right there, they almost make it to the thousand. It's nuts. I mean, even living 100 years is a long time. Could you imagine living the hundreds of years? Especially if you never had a kid until you're, well into your hundreds. Yes, it does. It does. That is one Hebrew thing that I do know. All right. Well. All right. Well, chapter 10. Thank you guys so much for being here. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Joseph, and unto them the sons were born after the flood, the sons of Joseph, Goram, and Magog. Magog. See, that's funny. I've heard a lot of Gog and Magog. Heard a lot of this, and this is the first time I remember reading it. Magog. Whatever. All right, Madai and Jova, Jevin, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyras, and the sons of Goram, and Askenaz, and Rephaim, and Torgaman. Sorry, not really easy to read these. And the sons of Jove, and Elish, and Shem, and Kenneth, and Donrund. By these were the Islish of the Gentiles, divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cas, and Maas, and Fun, and Canaan. And the sons of Cash, Seb, and Hevern, and the Alson, Sebeth, and Ram, and Sebach. And the sons of Ram, Saram. Oh my goodness. I'm not really trying to skip or be a jerk here, but I think I'm gonna skip through all these names because I seriously, I feel that I'm butchering them. So, we're just gonna skip across. Well, I'll give you guys a nice little, look of this. That's what, I really do like, and that's probably why this thing costs kind of a pretty penny, is they do have really good illustrations of, where things are found in certain places. Okay, so this keeps going on for a second of these names that are really hard to pronounce. Okay, here's something interesting in Hebrew. Ra means evil in Hebrew. Think the eye of Ra, all-seeing eye. Illuminati, let's get into that. No, I think about it. The all-seeing eye. It's on our dollar bill. I know that the God said that, the mark of the beast would be in our hand or on our forehead, which, trust me, that's what I believe, the RFID chip or whatever for our hands, which, they're tested out on our pets. No, I believe that's what it's for, but at the same time, I mean, they've already kind of gotten away with it in the money that we hold in our wallets. Nice. Thank you so much. Like, I really want to figure out how to do a live stream where I can put other people on and other people can talk and you can see them. Because I would love to do something like that with you and do a live stream. Your understanding and you, seriously, like, I really enjoying having you on here, and thank you so much. I can never say that enough. Um, I had this dude send me a computer because he saw one of my live streams or something, and he was like, "Here, let me send you a live stream. Let me send you a computer so you can do something." And he sent me a PX 900. Well, I figured out how to use a camera. I haven't really, not really ever been that computer savvy. I need to get that running, and I would love to do a live stream with anybody that wants to be there, but especially you. You've been really throwing down some really good understandings of things that I've been getting stumped on, and I appreciate the heck out of that, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be awesome if we could figure it out and I could get you on there so that we both could be talking, communicating back and forth, reading what people are saying. Because I could imagine me and you together, if we did something like that, that we had a scheduled time and did it week after week after week. I guarantee within, a month or two, we'd probably have 100 people that would pop on every time if we did a scheduled thing, because you have a great understanding, and I love it. I really appreciate it, and like I said, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you being here. Well, let's figure that out, and we'll have to figure out a way to communicate our number back and forth real quick and erase it so that maybe we could talk in person one of these days. That'd be really awesome. All right. Okay, where are we at? Man, it's still going through all these names that are just impossible to read. So what I think I'm going to do, all right, I'm just going to go all the way. It's still go all the way down because it goes the names through the names, which I understand means something. Actually, actually put together something. It's been a while. Okay, you guys want to see something cool? I haven't even looked at this in a minute, but when I wasn't really sure if the internet and everything was going to go down, I actually decided to write a whole bunch of stuff down. And wow, no, I wrote down a lot of stuff. Okay. I think I just want to show you this, at least this one thing. I think you might get a kick out of it because it definitely was in the beginning of my awakening. And when I came to realize and recognize this, I was like, whoa. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I apologize. I haven't even opened this up and I don't know how long. So just 1 second, please. I will. Yeah, I mean, which is funny for somebody that never hasn't written anything in 10 years. There is about a year back when I was really going through and learning a lot that I actually started writing a lot of stuff down. Because I kind of figured, I'm like, hey, if I die or if everything, gets cut off, at least I've gotten this written down, which was, my rhyme and reason for doing this. But I'm pretty sure you might get a kick out of this. All right, here we go. Sorry, handwriting sucks. Okay, but this is what really got me, is this side. You see what that reads? And I only put what I think a but in there. You know what I mean? And a the to actually spell that out. Is that on? Did you see that? So pretty much what it is the from Adam, Seth, Enos, all the way down, and when you put it all together into a sentence, the man is the is added. Okay, man is appointed mortal sorrow, but the blessing God shall come down, teach that his death shall bring the despairing rest. That is weird, and that's just going from Adam to Noah and translating all the names. I don't know if you've ever saw this or you've ever recognized this. If you have, I would love to know what you think. Yeah, no, this is something I did like a year ago. I've gone off in so many different realms and rhymes and reasons, but to look, when you look at it, the only, like, I added, but that, and, okay, so I put a but, a the, and that is all I did to make it sound more understandable. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I did to actually, make it sound just, a little bit more understandable. I went through all this. I mean, I don't know how well you can see this, but I just kind of flip through. I went through a lot of stuff and I just tried to write down as many things as I was trying to come across, understanding and finding flat earth and just, 100 other freaking crazy freaking things. And I just felt like it needed to be written down, and that's what I did. But whatever. But no, just kind of wanted to throw that out there. That's funny. I haven't even looked at that in quite a while, actually. Thank you. You know what? I'm thinking should call it here. Definitely love to keep talking if you want to talk. But I think my eyes and whatever a little bit done on that. 5 years. Okay, I haven't been studying for about 5 years. Deeply into the Bible, learning the ancient ways before man corrupted translations. See, and that is, one of the disturbing parts about everything. It's like, I hate it when people are like, you can't trust the Bible because it's corrupt. And it's like, hey, I used to believe that. And at the same time, I do know that man has rewritten and done what he can to corrupt the Bible, this, that, and other thing. But I do know that there is enough of God's word in there. Because God did give Satan, this is Satan's world. We live in Satan's world. The God of this world is Satan. And he gave him the ability, like, I mean, if Satan didn't own this world, how did Satan take Jesus to a high mountain and show him all the kingdoms and tell him, this can all be yours, just bow beneath me? And just bow beneath me as if I'm your Lord, and I will give you dominion over all this. How could anybody promise something that they did not own? Satan owns this world, and it is funny when you try to tell people that and they're like, oh, that's blasphemy and that's wrong and that's this and it's that. And it's like, no, it's not. On top of that, of course, things have been corrupted because he is the God of this world. But at the same time, we have free will, and in no way can he make us do something. But definitely, he definitely can put those little dollar bills and boobies and this and that in front of your face to make you stray off the path. But he cannot, interrupt our free will. But in many ways, he can to a point by goading us and baiting us into demonic ways. In the beginning, it was originally orally spoken. When it was first written, no, going from all of that, and then definitely even translations. When you look at the just translations from Greek, this, that, and other things, and it's like you see how they even just in that aspect that they literally lose the translation or mistranslate things, and you're like, how is that possible? But it does. No, it is definitely amazing, and more than anything, I just gotta say, hey, thank you for being here, and thank you for all of the pointers and understanding that you chimed in on. Oh, okay. Well, damn, you're definitely a lot smarter than I am if you can look at that many different ways of looking at something. Can you read Hebrew, or is it just you're reading it translated or whatever? Or can you read more than just English? Because if you can read Hebrew, that's pretty impressive. Some. No, but more than anything, that you like just actually taking the time and the energy trying to learn. I mean, man, I went through 30 years of my life not caring about anything. I mean, I waited until my 19th birthday to have sex because I was raised by, a single mother, and I thought it was worth something. And I will not deny it. My 19th birthday, I looked at my cell phone and I was like, F it. 19th birthday, had sex and became a complete dirty whore. I mean, by the time I was 21, I had sex with more girls than any person should have in their whole life. In just 2 years of my life, I hit 100. And it was really sad because I would say till about 27, I I did not care, man. I mean, I literally I lost count at 22 when I after I hit 100, and I continued to be a whore after that. And it's funny because even the girl that I'm with now, I love her with all of my heart, but even me knowing that we're not married even gives me pause, which is weird because I remember when that change came, and she was like, what happened to you? Are you a Bible thumper? And I'm like, no. Wait, maybe. Yeah, I guess I am. Like, something changed. And I mean, I'm still a man. Don't get me wrong, but something changed that was like, I'm not being right. And this is not right. And somehow she's still stuck with me and kind of understands to a point, which is really weird because in many accounts, I look at myself and I'm like, man, look who you used to be and look who you are now. And I'm very conflicted in many ways. It's kind of weird. Oh, okay, is that you? Okay, some cool stuff. I can show you on the Bible. Oh, I would appreciate that, bro. Um, yeah, no, I like that. I don't know if this is going to come up in my live feed or whatever. So, either later on tonight or tomorrow or whatever, come back on to this video and leave the actual message because I'm not really sure whether I'll be able to see what you've left me now. But come back and leave that on there, and I will definitely come check you out. I sometimes it is really hard to just be like, what the heck? I mean, especially, man, I used to watch. I know I'm gonna get a little weird here, but I used to watch so much damn porn, and I used to be just like every freaking dude, whatever. And now I do that very rarely, to the point to where I have wet dreams all the time, like I'm 12. That is, hey, thanks for coming back, brother. But that is the funniest thing of how much I've even stopped that, is to where so much that I literally have wet dreams. And you know what I mean? I'm not talking about pissing the bed. And we all know, well, I don't know for you guys, but I know a wet dream usually feels better than the real thing, amazingly. Um, yeah, it's just weird. Like, that's how much my psyche has changed. And sometimes I even, think and go, man, is there something wrong with you? Or, like, why, like, your whole demeanor has changed. But I cannot deny, though, that who I'm with has been so awesome about it. Thank you. That means a lot. But it is just weird because she has been so awesome for the most part about it. Not to say that she isn't like, hey, motherfucker. But compared to every other crazy bipolar bitch that I've been in love with, not one of them could have understood me being how I am now. They might have tolerated it, but not without the sex. No fucking way. No effing way. I mean, I'm a midget, dude. I'm 5'7". Freaking my ex before her was 6'1" and 15 years older than me with big fake tits. So, yeah, how nympho she was, and then the crazy stripper that I was with her before, the other freaking crazy broad that sold more freaking crystal meth than anybody fucking knew about, like in our whole little town. Well, not that we live in a little town, but I'm just saying in my area. And these were, I never intended on being with them because of who and what they were. I never even liked any of that shit. I just ended up being with somebody, and once I had sex with them and I liked them, they were all of a sudden my girlfriend. And I remember seeing, no, she is a keeper. She is my everything. But I just remember these girls as, it was like, you met them, we had sex, and they would not leave. Would not leave. I mean, I even remember freaking Crazy Raquel. He was 15 years older, weighed, like freaking 6 inches taller than me. And I remember after the like first 2 days that we were seeing each other, she was like, "Hey, I understand you're young, you're hot, you're this, you're that. I understand you're probably having sex with other girls, and you're probably gonna want to keep doing that, and that is okay." I was like, "Wow, I actually really like you. I didn't plan on that, but okay, thanks." 2 weeks later, after she had still never truly left my house, and if she did, she went, dealt with her shit, and was back before I got home from work. After 2 freaking weeks, I remember there was a first night that we weren't going to spend together, and she looked at me and she was like, "I remember what I told you, but you're mine, and if you ever have sex with another girl, I will kill her and I will have you killed." And I'm like, whoa. And I was like, whoa, wait, I thought you said da. That was I had dealt with bipolar crazy, but not like this. I mean, I'm not joking. I had come home from work, and there'd be broads tied up to chairs. And I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? I brought home steak, some artichokes, da 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 da. I'm going to make dinner. and you have a bitch tied up in a chair in the living room. Why? Well, her man owes me money, and I'm not letting her go until I get my money. And it'd be like, all right, I'm putting the groceries in the fridge, and I'm gonna go back to my mom's house and let me know when this shit is fucking done. That is the type of shit that I dealt with, and that's why I worship who I'm with so much, because she's older than me too, but I knew her before any of her kids had their kids, and they've both had kids. I have 5 year old little Gianna, freaking 2.5 year old little Wyatt, and then freaking little Winston that is 7 months old. They're the greatest gifts I've ever been given. They're not even of my blood, but to me, they're mine, because I know none of those kids would have been who they're with right now. Not to say that any of who they're with right now is a good thing, but they would have never met or been who they are with right now, and I'd never have any of those grandbabies. Not, like I said, not to say their relationships are worth anything or anything good, but I would not have those grandbabies. So as far as I'm concerned and how I look at it, those are my grandbabies, and I made them, and they are of me, whether they're of my blood or not. And those little guys love me, and I love them with all of my heart. I have no understanding of how great this life is until I look them in the eyes. And I remember when I held little Gianna for the first time. She was the first grandbaby. When I held her and I looked at her in her eyes, and I was already starting to realize how effed up the world was. But guess what? It didn't matter to me. All I cared about was what I wanted. I looked at her in her eyes and I realized I have to do something. I literally have to do something. I cannot sit back idle and just be happy with what I think is okay for me, because this world is fucked. Pardon my French. And this little girl is going to have to grow up into it, and she's looked into my eyes, and one that happens, there's that, like, a bond or whatever it was, and everything changed. That was when I first started to realize that I had to wake up and I had to change whatever I could in this world for the better. And if I did not, and at that point, I still hadn't even come back to the God. I really hadn't. But at that point was the beginning of it. And not to even say that that brought me back to God right there, but that brought me back to the understanding of, I know this world is corrupt. I know this world is messed up, and I need to do something, and I need to at least do everything that I can. And it all brought me back to the Father. It it was insane to have that, because I think it was the first connection that I ever had with another living being that wasn't an animal, that was just pure love. I mean, every other connection that I had with any women was because it was how hot they were, it was this, it was that, and you know, I almost have to put it back to the cats and the dogs that I've loved in my life, because it's like I never loved any of them because they were hot and I enjoyed having sex with them. I enjoyed them because they were pure and they were precious. And I think when I looked into her eyes, it was the first thing that I ever looked at again besides an animal. Is like, seriously, I have pretty messed up upcoming, but whatever. That's not here or there. But that I looked at something and I saw innocence in a human being again. I don't really think any time in my life that I ever looked at another human being with innocence, to be able to have that type of love. I don't know. It's the only way I can explain it. I finally saw true innocence, and it broke my heart. No, hey, and I look at that a lot. Thank you. I look at that a lot. That I think of that, and I'm like, because if I had kids, my own kids, because trust me, I'm not trying to brag, but I should have a lot of kids. It wasn't from lack of trying. And seriously, I never used condom. Thank goodness I always somehow never ended up with any freaking diseases, but never used condom, never pulled out. Sorry, not trying to be a dirtball. But I have looked at it like that. I'm like, because if I ever had kids, would I ever, I don't think I would have the time, the energy to become awoke in what I've come to learn and come to know to be who I am now. I don't think I'd ever had the time or the energy to be who I am or to have found where I've become. And I think I would have stuck in the stew of rottingness that I lived in and been in misery trying to, take care of kids and maybe never even having the, like I said, find the time to come to, the father and the understanding of everything that I have now. So, I have thought about it many a times like that. And that's why when I look at those grandbabies, I know they wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have come to have met my girl, So I do really look at like they are mine and because of a lot of that. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Let me know. All right. Well, like I said, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, throw it out there. If not, I'll probably. God pulled each of us out from the times before he gets our. I did sometimes take several times. Yeah, no, and I will say that he's pulled me out of the ditch more than once or twice. That is for sure. It was funny, like before I was gonna start this live stream like an hour before I did, and I ended up talking with my older brother because of some other stuff. I usually never talk with him, and I ended up just saying, "Hey, well, whatever, da da da," and he started texting me back. And me and him, like seriously, he's one crazy son of a bitch, and that's why me being a midget, I call myself. That it doesn't matter how tall somebody is. It really doesn't. I would fight anybody, and I never lost. I'm not saying that I'm anything special. I was beat by a state wrestler as I grew up. I mean, I remember one of the first things that my middle brother ever said to me that actually recognized to be something nice was he put his arm around me. He was like, "Hey, little brother, guess what?" And I looked up at he was finally gonna say something nice or do something nice, and he looked down at me. He's like, "I just want to let you know, I'm gonna beat the living shit out of you every day of your life just to see if I can make you cry louder." And he did do that till I was about 12, and I came after him with a butcher knife. He was smart enough to run. So nobody has ever been able to take me, no matter how big they are, especially once it goes to the ground. We go to the ground, I don't care what it is, you're getting hemmed up, you're getting choked out, I'm going to break your arm, this, that, or the other thing. And that was the chip that stood on my shoulder that probably perpetuated me to never actually get my ass kicked in the bar. Because I am the midget that would go talk to any girl. I didn't care how tall they were, how hot they were, whatever. I'd go talk to any fucking girl. That got me in so many fights, and I always won. One way or another, I won. No matter how much I got beat, I was still the one that was fucking standing at the end. And I'm not trying to be proud of myself for that. That's nothing to be proud of. I'm just saying that's who I was, and he beat that into me. And that made me the cocky little son of a bitch that I was. And I'm just like I will not deny I'm still pretty cocky, but I let a lot of crap roll off my shoulders, and I let a lot of slights that come against me go away because it's not worth my time or my energy. The only way I'm gonna really hurt somebody is if you're gonna hurt somebody that I love. I'm used to being beat. I'm used to being hit. I've never hit anybody first. I always seriously hit them last. I know that sounds so cocky and so arrogant, but I've never hit one person first. And I've been in a lot of fights. And that was one thing that always stuck with me is if you're right, you will win. And I know that's not always true, but for me, it always has been because I've never hit anybody first. All right, let me read these comments. Sorry. All right. Oh, the Earth is definitely flat. Mathematically, it's flat. Mathematically brings me back to God. Mathematics proves God because it is impossible for us, even the possibility for what they say our planet has been here. It would be like taking a dictionary and dropping it through helicopter blades at 10,000 feet and landing back on the ground completely put together. That is a mathematical equation of what it would take and how many zeros it would take for us to evolve from what they said that we have. Evolution is the biggest crock of shit in the world. Yes, he was. Moon landings. Have you ever wondered why the other planets are not mentioned in the Bible? Okay, it's and that's what's funny. He literally, I mean, he tells us that he separated the waters from the water, and he made the greater light and the lesser light. The greater light was day. We just read through this, right? But it proves that it's all underneath the firmament, and that is what running for president. She said we are going to break through the glass ceiling. I know. Hey, that's what they were doing out in the deserts, trying to blow off all those nukes. They weren't practicing shit. They were trying to crack through the fucking dome. They were gonna drown us. They're wandering stars. What is so crazy to me is, and I don't know whether you guys completely believe in flat Earth or not, but that was one of my big things. That is the greatest lie ever told, and if you can get people to freaking believe it, yeah, I've seen Hillary speech. No, but it's like when you listen to what they're saying, they tell us everything right in front of our fucking eyes. Operation Fishbowl. Yes, they were literally trying to break the fucking dome. Pardon my French. They were literally trying to break that damn dome. And, like, he separated the waters from the water. So, hey, maybe what we live on is a globe that's 100,000 million times bigger than what we live on. Yeah, CERN is a piece of shit. That is literally trying to break the veil and try. And oh my God, let's roll. Let's do it. All right, so this freaking ass wipe that is literally talking about D-Wave, yep, it all goes together. He is talking about what they're trying to do at CERN and what, robotics will be and all this. And he says, listen, there's no reason to be worried about the robots, CERN, this or that, because guess what? We will be like ants from what we look at ants, what they're going to bring through and what they're going to create or what they're going to bring through this veil or through this tear. We will be only like ants, so they won't even care about us, so we shouldn't worry about it. Excuse me, what in the F do you do to ants when they invade your freaking, your cabinet, your fridge, and your house? You exterminate them. So you're going to tell me that you're bringing something forth that is so much above us that we would be nothing but ants to it, so we shouldn't worry? were to be set back and sit here and just go, oh, they'll only look at us like ants. That's not a big deal. Well, if ants are destroying what you want or eating what you want or annoying you, you kill them. And you're going to sit there and tell us that we have nothing to worry about because we will be only like ants to them. They won't care about us. That is the most sickening, disturbing thing in the world. And this is what they admit. This is what the people that have all the money in the world are putting their money into. These are the people that made Facebook, that made fucking 4G, that are trying to burn us out with 5G. Not one of these sons of bitches let any of their kids play with Facebook, let alone have cell phones in their house. Everything they have is hardwired as they fucking literally radiate the rest of us. And we're supposed to sit here and go, oh yeah, thank you, may I have another? You have Steve Jobs come out and literally say, hey, look, the biggest problem, what we got to kind of figure out is population, because we're at like almost 7 billion people. And, before you know, it'll be 9 billion. But if we do a really good job with vaccines and food, we can probably curve that to keep it around 7 billion. And you're sitting there going, okay, wait, so you've just told me that the biggest threat is overpopulation, but you have a way to deal with it through food and vaccines, and you're sitting there acting like it's not a big deal, and people are sitting there clapping, and you're like, do you not understand what this son of a bitch just literally said? He literally said he's going to poison you through vaccines. He's going to make you sterile. And if people are sitting there clapping, you try to open up the minds and the hearts of the people that you fucking know and you love, that have been fucking pulled that black fucking goo over their eyes, and they still won't open their fucking eyes. I mean, it is the saddest, most disturbing fucking thing in the world. Pardon my French. No, yes, they do. Like they're kidding. Using medication to inform the future, pulling into our time. That is how they said are learning to build AI. Now they are making high school kids carry around laptops. No, and that's the funniest thing. Little Gianna, she always wants the little laptop and the little freaking phone right on her lap. And I'm like, no. And everybody's like, what? Why are you being like that? I'm like, because I want great grandbabies. Do you not want grandkids? Do you not want great grandkids? Because guess what? She is literally being sterilized by holding that laptop over her genitals. That's exactly what's happening, and that's what they're doing. They're completely doing it, and they're telling us all that it's safe. Don't worry. And what did they say on them rolling out 5G? See, we're going to be ahead of every other country because we know we don't need to worry about testing it and doing any of that. So since we're not going to do that, we're going to be ahead of every other country, as you literally sterilize every decent American human being, and you bring in these other fucking people from other countries that literally will have 8 to 9 kids, as we are having 1.3 kids. That's what the average American is having. You can't replenish. Wait, no, 1.7. Sorry. You can't replenish our planet with that. 5G's is rolling out on Dallas area already. That's disturbing. I'm the same. No phones or laptops, and if they do, it's only on the table for an hour max. See, and that's what I've been making little Gianna do. I'm like, you keep dropping the phone, you keep dropping that. See, now you have to put it out in front of the table and watch it from there. That's what I've been trying to do, but everybody thinks I'm crazy. I finally got my girl to start realizing fluoride was real. What I was talking about, because my neighbor down the damn street that actually works for a dentist, and her daughter was here, and they're talking, oh yeah, the fluoride, da 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 da. And I walked, I'm like, are you guys, that's only to make you stupid, and that's actually what Hitler supposedly put in the water for the people that were in concentration camps. Like, did you not notice that the fluoride little scam came out right after freaking World War II, and we brought over all the scientists? Did you know if you had a barrel of if you had a barrel of fluoride next to a barrel of nuclear waste, they both have to be literally taken care of the same way. You have to dispose of a barrel of fluoride the same as you have to get rid of a barrel of nuclear waste. But guess what? They found a good way where they can put it in your toothpaste and put it in your drinking water, and then they don't have to pay to get rid of it as they poison us. Nobody wants to listen. I'm like, it's this easy. Okay, so a pea-size piece of toothpaste. Look on any toothpaste tube. A pea size of toothpaste is swallowed. You're supposed to contact poison control. Wow. And people brush their teeth with that every day. Well, did you know there's that much fluoride in an 8-ounce glass of our drinking water? So what? Every time I let my kid drink a glass of water, which aren't they supposed to drink 8 glasses of water a day? That means they've been dosed 8 times enough that I should be calling poison control. Imagine that. Is it not insanity? No, that's what I've been doing. I put baking soda in a little salt shaker, and that's what I do. I get my toothbrush wet, and I freaking shake. I literally freaking brush with baking soda. It is insanity though when it's right in front of their eyes, and then you have somebody trying to teach them or show that to them, and they look at you like there is a dick growing out of your forehead. Pardon my disturbing analogy, but that's the best way that I can explain it. It is insanity. And you know what I ask them? I'm like, you know who I used to be. I used to like play video games. I used to like to think about space. Seriously, I was one of the biggest history buffs and all this other freaking crap. And I came to realize that I put myself through a college of learning history and science. And I came to realize that it was all effing fake. And once I realized that I knew nothing, I finally, thank you, Father. I finally was able to start learning. And I ask all these people, you know who I used to be, right? And they're like, oh yeah, I know you're different and you're like crazy now. I'm like, what do I do with all my free time? Well, you're always looking stuff up and always researching stuff. I'm like, okay, so I've spent the last 3 years doing nothing with my free time but researching and looking shit up. I used to go to the bar. I used to play freaking pool. I have a pool table, but yeah, every once in a while I play. But I'm not joking. I play pool one-handed, and I can pull English that is insane one-handed. I mean, I pull a lot of girls that way. Got in a lot of fights that way too. But that was everything to me. I'm like, when's the last time you saw me go to the bar? I think you went with me for my birthday last year. Yeah, I did. What did I used to do every weekend? What did I used to do with all my free time? Go to the bar, play pool, play video games, do this and that. I'm like, what do I do now? And this is when I laugh at people. Well, what do you think you know? How do you know this? I'm like, well, I don't watch CNN. That's one thing that helps. But it's like, I'm sitting here. I sleep 4 to 6 hours a night. I work 6 to 8 hours every day. What do I do with the rest of my time? Research. Every single day, I am on my phone looking stuff up, researching shit. I'm like, I spend anywhere from freaking 8 to 10 hours a day doing nothing but researching shit. And you still don't believe anything that I tell you? Even how many things I've told you that you told me I was crazy, and then you finally went to research it yourself and you realized I was right? And you still tell me I'm a crackpot when I mention almost anything to you? Where is the thinking in that? And that's what disturbs me more than anything. It's like, do you think I wanted to be the guy that realized the earth was flat and to be ridiculed by everybody that I know? Who the fuck wants that? Who wants to be the guy that's like, hey, do you see those lines going across the sky? Dude, yeah, those aren't chemtrails. Those are chemtrails. They're poisoning you. There's strontium, barium, metal oxide, freaking aluminum. They're spraying you and poisoning you. Nobody
nobody wants to be us. Nobody wants to be the crazy. Oh, guess what? You want to be that guy, but you can't help but be that guy when you come to understand the fucking truth. And that's what I laugh about. Everybody is like, oh, so you just think everybody else is stupid, knows nothing. And it's like, no, I was you at one point. I was you at one point. I don't think that you're stupid and you don't know anything, but let me help you learn some things so you can start to see things. And it's like, it was scientifically fucking proven that people that have believed a lie, if they come to realize that truth that they believed is a lie, most people would rather continue to perpetuate that lie than effing admit that they were wrong. That's how Satan wins. Sorry, I know I'm going a little crazy here. They all have drank the Kool-Aid. Yes, they have. Dumb zombie sheep. Actually, I just made a video the other day of, zombies. And we are in a zombie apocalypse. No, straight up. No, it's lonely on our side. We are few. It is, but hey, they said that he would come and deceive the world, and he has. And there is this one guy that does these great videos, and there would be this part in it, and it says, "Thank you, Father, for giving me the knowledge or enlighten the poor and the unlearned like me." And I know it's kind of a joke, saying all those people that think they know everything are really the unlearned, but it's saying, thank you for showing the poor and the unlearned and hiding this from the rest. I know I'm butchering it, but it's like, no, it is true. It's like, I understand it's not meant for everybody, but we all know if you're a watchman, you have to blow the trumpets as loud as you can, because if you don't, all their blood is on your hands. But if you blow those trumpets as loud as you can and they don't listen, that blood is on their hands. And that is a heartbreaking thing to realize and understand. This shit will hit the dome. Soldier of God channel. Yeah, that might be it. I'm not sure, but you probably say, with much knowledge comes much sorrow. No, it does. I mean, it really does. With much knowledge comes much sorrow. But I started to become awake, and I saw lots of people do the blood over intent, and I was like, dude, that's selling. They're telling you put their blood on a contract and upload it onto the internet. I made a couple of videos and I trolled a couple of those dudes, and literally was like, you're selling your soul to the fucking devil. Don't do it. And this was one time in the beginning of me starting what I was doing, probably about 2 years ago. And this girl contacted me and came onto my channel and was like, hey, I saw you trolling the hell out of this guy. All my friends told me to watch this video and do this. And I listened to what you said, and I didn't do it, and I was about to do it, and thank you so much. Right there. I'm like, maybe I just saved maybe somebody's soul. And that really meant a lot to me. But when it comes down to that, I would not say that I made a blood contract or anything, but I did cut my hand really bad. And this is before I really was understanding and getting into any of, the understanding of this shit. But I was looking into other things, and it said if you spill your blood on the oldest tree that you can, that, it'll pretty much give you what you asked for, or this, that, or the other thing. And I was out on this job. I still take care of it. And I cut my hand hella bad. I was right by the biggest tree on the property. I just walked under it, bled out onto the roots and onto the trunk of it. And I said, please, just help me understand what this world is. And please help me learn and find what this world truly is. And I hope I didn't sell my soul doing that, but I'm not joking. Since that day, the only thing that has ever mattered to me is actually trying to find truth of what this world is, no more, no less. So, I don't know what you guys think of that or whatever, but it's something that's kind of, tormented me a little bit, but at the same time, like, I don't know how much I can complain because I've come to learn so much, but at the same time have so much more sorrow. But I'd never want to go back to sleep. But I did not sign my name or a contract and upload it to the Devil Black stream that I'm using right now against the devil. All right. So Satan wants. Okay. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Satan wants Jesus to bring forth heaven on earth, and that is what blood over intent is. Evil. Yes. No. Exactly. But like I said, I did not, leave my blood contract or try to do blood over intent. I just asked for knowledge as I had a cut that was already bleeding, and I put it over the oldest tree that I could find. I don't know how much I sold my soul there, but you know, I will email you my testimony of how God got me awoke. I would love that. My email on the rock. Wow, you're up early. Well, either up early or up late. This chat has been awesome. Should be viral, trending madness that there are only two watching. Sad. No, it is, but that shows me more than anything, because anybody that's got all that crap trending and getting all those views, they're 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 fear porn or just complete bullshit. I'm happy if I'm reaching one person, and obviously I'm reaching more than one. But more than anything, like, they really try to hide me. I mean, it's funny. I'm hoping by my birthday this month that it'll show that I have 100,000 views, which is hilarious because when I wasn't in trouble with YouTube, I made a video and I had 27,000 views on it in literally less than 4 hours. 27,000 views. Got out of YouTube jail again, made a video, had 12,000 views on a video in literally 2 hours. So I'm in YouTube jail. They don't like me. I pull up and bring up everything, and they hate me for it, and that's fine. And that is the funny thing. It's like, I know I'm not persecuted like Jesus or anything like that, but I do look like, I look at it as I am a little bit persecuted on this platform, and to me that shows me that I'm doing something right. And hey, if I can at least freaking speak to you and speak to a couple of people, I'm doing what I need, and that's fine. I haven't been to sleep yet. Yeah, neither have I. I have to thank you for showing me. Oh yeah, no, dude, I know he wears that crazy mask, and some people were like, "Oh, he's the devil," and this and that, and it's like, well, he tells a lot of truth, and he does. He might get a little slow, and but whatever. He really tells a lot of truth, and he does a really good job. And yep, yes, he is point on. Like, he does got it. And I understand. At first, you almost think, I'm like, damn, am I listening to a Satanist? And seriously, that dude loves God, and he's trying to hide his face, and I don't blame him for it. I do not blame him in any way, but he is definitely a great patriot and somebody that is really doing a very good job to spread the word of the truth. And his videos they can get a little bit long. I can't say that I've watched every single one of his videos, but I have watched quite a few of them. And, for the most part, I usually watch a good chunk of them. But he does do long videos, but he speaks the truth of what's going on at the moment and the time, and calls it out for what it is. And I feel that he does way better than me. How the hell they only let him have 100 or so subs is like, damn. But at the same time, I look at me and I'm like, oh yeah, they only let me get to this certain point. I mean, I've been at 633 for, I don't know, about a month or so, I think. And every time it takes a couple subs and then it'll let me get some more. Take some subs, lets me get some more. It's like, and if you like, I know how freaking YouTube works to a point. Most people don't really unsubscribe to somebody unless they've done something that really, really pissed them off. Because most people will be like, yeah, I didn't agree with that. I just won't watch that video. But every single time I get new subs, I just lose subs. Get new subs, lose subs. I mean, when that first time before their algorithms really went crazy and they let me out of YouTube jail the first time, and I dropped that video and I got 27,000 freaking views in literally freaking less than 4 hours, I got 200 subs right there. Boom, they locked me back down into YouTube jail. I was stuck at 400. Made another video when I got out of YouTube jail. 12,000 views in like freaking 2 hours. Boom, got like another 100 subscribers or so right there. And then boom, locked me down. And all I've been able to do is here and there trickle in about 4 subs, 5 subs, maybe a week. And then it just takes them away and it slowly lets me grow. But the one thing I would love to ask you guys, like if you really did like this video that we've done together, and we did do this together because you guys have been helping me out, please share it or share some of my other videos. And just I would just love to see that like I could actually grow in subs, because it just, everything shows me that all they do is take it away. And I know it's not about how many people see or how many subs that I got. I don't care if I have a million subs. The only thing that matters is that 1 or 2 people that actually find the message and get the message. That's what really matters. Okay, are you... Okay, I'm gonna sleep yet. Are you on Actrix or meth, bro? Oh, just kidding. Yeah, no, some of my exes used to like that. My favorite was Coke. I haven't touched that in years. Thank you for showing me. He's cool and on the point. Earth is flat. The earth is flat. No, I just want to, I just want to tell you guys, thank you for being here. It looks like we're going to come up on 3 hours here in about 40 seconds. So I think maybe I've done now it shows that I got 4 people when I'm like, talking about getting the hell off. All right. What do you guys want to get into? Showing I got more people. Damn, I got a lot of... Damn. Pretty impressed. Lots of comments on this. It is so funny because it trips me out when I see that it shows that I got 4 people on here, when a lot of times it shows me I have 0, and then I have anywhere from 2 to 3 people commenting on my video. So it almost makes me wonder, when it shows that there's 4 people on there, I'm like, is there more than even 4? Whatever. I'm really happy that you guys have been here. I think this has been a really great video. If there's anything else you guys want to hop in on and talk about, I'm totally down with that. But it is like literally 4 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, so I guess it's a good thing tomorrow is the one day that I got off, but I got some work to do. My favorite was yeah, that was my ex's favorite. Yeah, I was a Coke guy. Yeah, never really liked the Crystal too much. Can't say I didn't do it every once in a while. She'd get tweaked out so much sometimes, and all the bullshit she pulled. Sometimes I'd just grab it from her and be like, "What's up, bitch? Now you gotta deal with me, crack out." Not to say that was the smartest thing to do, but early 20s, you do stupid shit. YouTube always messes with all that. Yeah. They do. But what I want to say is, I love all of you. Thank you so much for freaking being here. Thank you so much for all the comments, and especially thank you for, who you are, for helping me out while I was trying to read the Bible and, actually sticking through with me for it. That means a lot to me. Please, if you guys want any comments or anything that you want me to look at, wait till this video drops. I don't expect you to wait for it tonight, but come back tomorrow and just leave whatever on this video, whatever you might want me to look at, this, that, or the other thing. And that's good for you. I'm glad for you. It's, if it's something that you love, it's hard to let go, but it is amazing after you let it go. You remember why it had such a hold on you, but at the same time, you're sitting there going, man, why did I let it have such a hold on me? But no, I'm proud of you. 11 years, that's really good. I can't deny I always had alcohol to go back onto. And I'm still an alcoholic. I won't deny that. I don't touch any hard drugs or do anything like that anymore, but alcohol has always been, but I'm German, Irish, Scottish, Italian, and Basque. So, I guess I got a strong liver. And, yeah. So, that, and I know it's not the best thing or the right thing, but it is the one thing that I've always been able to fall back on and stop doing whatever, because I did a lot of different things because I know how druggies are. I know how it works. And if you're with somebody that starts doing something or is on something and you're not doing it too, to be able to say, I'm not doing this anymore and neither are you. The only way to get them to listen to you is if you've been doing it too, so they can't look at you and be like, you don't understand or you don't know. I can't count how many times I've locked girlfriends in my room for, days or if a week. I was like, you're not going anywhere. As soon as you're clean, you can leave. You can break up with me. You can do whatever the F you want, but you're not leaving until you're clean. Not one of them ever left after I finally opened the door and freed them. I guess that sounds kind of bad, doesn't it? All day trying. Work hard, drink hard. Yeah, I get that. What was funny for me, I never even liked soda. You couldn't catch me drinking a soda before I was 18. And then my mom got a new husband and I was working every day and I would come home and he was like, man, you work all day, you work every day, you deserve a drink. I'm like, okay. I started drinking at like 18. And all of a sudden, there was nothing good. Alcohol doesn't taste good. I don't like beer. I got alcohol poisoning at 12 when I weighed like 98 pounds from drinking 340s of Mickey Ice. So I didn't really like alcohol, especially beer. But then, hard alcohol, and the only thing that tasted good with it was soda. So what did I do? All of a sudden, I started liking soda. I drank Pepsi and vodka all day for like 15 years. Seriously, all day. Pepsi vodka. Pepsi vodka. I know that sounds like a weird combination. It used to be Pepsi and Jack. Never liked Coke. Well, I liked Coke, not Coca-Cola. But yeah, just, really, really sad and disturbing. Not to say that I can blame him, but that was the start of it. And I haven't had a Pepsi in 3 months. I've been drinking 7 Up, which is a little bit better. But dude, good for you, bro. Like, that just stopping the drinking the Pepsi was hard. So for you to, give up booze and soda and be 4 years in, I got to tell you, bro, I'm proud of you and good work, because I wish I could say I was there, and I wish more than anything wish I could say that I was close to being on that path or whatever. Or just, I've slowed down a little bit on, not drinking so much. Not drinking, I used to drink about 6 to 8 Pepsis a day. Now I'm on about 3 to 4 7-Ups a day, and drinking a lot less, booze. But it's not an easy thing, and I just want to tell you, hey, I'm really proud of you. I want to quit drinking. I quit smoking weed and cigarettes once. Step at a time. Yeah, step at a time. Yes, we all are works in progress. Who needs water when you have sweet tea and coffee? Hey, I was kind of thinking about that too. It's like, just drink some iced tea, put some vodka in that, and be fucking happy. No, I every once in a while I do that, but that is something that actually would be a better idea and probably a lot more healthy. Well, more than anything, I really appreciate you guys being here, and like I said, please, after this video drops tomorrow, come back, and if you have anything you want me to look at, or whatever. One thing that I would really appreciate knowing. Oh, another thumbs up, thank you. Is if I know my reading of the Bible isn't that well or whatever, but if you would like me to pick back up from where I started earlier tomorrow night, just let me know. Leave it in the comments, and I'm just gonna tell you all right now. I really love you. I appreciate you being here, and I think we better call it a night, or because it's like past 4 here, and if I keep going, I'm gonna go till 5. So I just want to tell you all, every single one of you, I love you for being here, and for all the comments, all the help, and definitely to Bar there. I want to tell you more than anything, you really threw down a lot of helpful understandings of what I was trying to read and understand, and that was awesome. All right, well, I love you all, and I hope to see you soon. You have a good night. Oh, thank you. That's good. Guys, have a good night. All right.